Great news for all interactive brokers investors. As you know, I'm a huge fan of interactive brokers and I'm slowly shifting all of my portfolio to that platform. And I've done various tutorials in the past on it. And it's a broker that I really love and has such a big history. One of the biggest ones actually in the world, really trustworthy and safe. However, the one thing that I've never really liked about it is the user interface, which is getting better over the years, but hasn't really been on levels with other brokers out there. Especially when you compare it with apps such as Robinhood or Revolut, they make the whole process of buying stocks and ETFs so much easier. That is until a few days ago when interactive brokers finally came out with a whole new app that makes it so much easier, simpler and seamless to buy your stocks. And I'm going to show you how. So the app is called GlobalTrader. So you're just going to pop it in here and you see it already, Ibkr GlobalTrader. So there's the app you're going to download on the Google and the Apple Store. And you can see already it looks so much better than we've had previously. So you just download this and basically you're good to go. So you may ask yourself, so Kai, do I need to register for a new account? No. The great thing here is if you already have an interactive brokers account, so you can use your usual logins you would use on the old app. So coming back to the new app, it's called GlobalTrader. You open it and you can see here, wow, what a difference in the interface. I mean, just much more beautiful to look at, much cleaner. It definitely has less capabilities than the other app, but overall a much more seamless and smoother and easier user experience than the other app. So basically you can see here your total portfolio value, which you can see over the time. Here you don't have too much other options. You can see your top holdings. I'm just migrating right now from Revolut. All my stocks I'm selling in Revolut and moving to interactive brokers. I just feel more comfortable with them, and going forward as my portfolio grows, I know they do nothing else but stock trading versus Revolut being so much more, and I still love it and I use it for other things, but for stocks and ETFs definitely prefer interactive brokers. So other than that, you obviously have a couple of news here, which if there's something you like, you click on it and it pulls up the news and that's great. You can move back over here. You have of course some top news, but you can also click on portfolio news. So here you see basically anything that relates to the stocks or ETFs that you have in your portfolio. So only news specific to that will pop up over here. So that's basically all there is to it. You can click on your account setting over here in the top left corner, and that just once again pulls up the sort of settings. It shows you your total value of your account, how much you have invested, how much you have left to spend, and how much is your buying power. As you can see, there's funds on hold. When you click on this question mark over here, it basically tells me that because recently I sold one of my stocks in Revolut and transferred the money over here. So unfortunately I have to wait a few more days until the funds are released, and then I'll be able to invest that amount into stocks as well. So from here I can either deposit, obviously it pulls up all the data and information that I need to deposit money into it, and very, very simple. Any previous accounts that you used, I have here my bank account, I have my Revolut account for USD, and the other one for Euro. So very simple, I can just click on use this account and it pulls up the information, but obviously it's already saved in my other banks, so I can just very quickly transfer it into interactive brokers, and literally it takes a couple of minutes until it's in my account. From here I can also withdraw if I wanted to, and you can only withdraw into the account that you paid money into. So I could withdraw into those two wiring options, but again I'm not planning to withdraw anytime soon. Here you can also see your transaction history that you had or pending orders, so that's quite good at a glance. You have your support over here, which honestly I must say they've been getting better and better, the support. And that's great. Your settings, here you can go through all your user settings, account settings, and that pulls up your permissions to trade. And again, trading permissions are quite important. A lot of you have been asking me why I cannot buy a certain stock in Europe and US. So always make sure you go into here and tick those ones where you want to buy. So if you want to buy, I don't know, a French stock, let's say LVMH, Louis Vuitton, it's based in France, so you need to have selected France in order to be able to buy the stocks. Otherwise it will say you cannot buy that. So, you don't have to go through a test or anything. You just have to click it here, save, and it will be added to your permissions to trade over there. So that's quite good to do it now from your phone. Then we have of course display settings. As you know, I'm always a dark mode fan, so I always select dark mode, but you can also have the light theme, so that's as you prefer. Notifications, so here you can set up whatever you want to be notified about. I try to really minimize it, only very key events that I want to see that are coming up. Then of course security settings, which you can also configure. I always have saving my username, so it's easier to log in, and I use Face ID, just it makes it more safer. Your base currency, that's also something in case you mostly invest in USD. I would actually recommend you to change that to USD, but it really depends on what markets you invest most in. And then advanced, but there's nothing really much to it. Yeah, that's all there is really to it over here. So let's go back. You have the bell icon over here in case of any notifications. In case you make a deposit, you will be notified once it arrives over here. If you get dividend paid from your stocks or ETFs, you will be notified. So that's really good to keep on top of things. Then of course you have the big blue trade icon over here. So if you hit this over here, makes it very simple to basically buy any stocks. And I'll go to it in a moment in another way how I prefer to buy stocks. But if you wanted to, that's one of the fastest ways to do so. Then we go on the next tab down here, which is portfolios. That's basically all the stocks and ETFs that you own in your portfolio listed over here. As you can see right now, I don't really have so many because most of it were in my Revolut, but as I said, I'm now migrating from Revolut to Interactive Brokers, so all of them will be here in a short while. But right now, yeah, it makes it very simple. Again, compared to the old app, it just makes it so much user-friendly, especially if you're not really willing to invest too much time and understanding all the things. You can basically see the change, which was from the previous day, a 24-hour change, how it developed, and then you can see how much euros or USD or any other currency you have in total over here. So let's say I want to go into my Apple stocks. I click on Apple and it takes me right in there. And again, small things like having a logo, right? I mean, that should be a basic feature in any trading app. Well, it hasn't been there in the old app. So again, it just makes it so much nicer to look at. And I think for me personally, it's quite important when you use the app, you want to have a good user experience. So you can see the chart. You can of course change the period for which you want to see the development. You can also change the chart type. So you can click on the candle bars. You can see the volume and candle bars. But you know, I prefer actually just a simple charting tool. And then you see your positions, how many shares you own, what's the total market value of your positions times the price, the cost base you bought it for, the daily P&L, what we've seen before, and the unrealized P&L. So in total, with all the stocks I bought from Apple, so far I lost $85, which obviously in the market situation we're in is to be expected. But again, as I'm a long-term investor, I'm not too bothered about this, and I know in a couple of years they will be significantly higher. Here are calendar events, in case there is any earnings upcoming or dividend payment, it would show up over here. So that's good to keep a track on what's happening. Then market data. So that's very much a consolidated information you would get from Yahoo Finance or Seeking Alpha. So in a very simple way, you can see here sort of the lows and highs of the stock, the market cap, the EPS, dividends, and the dividend yield. So again, nice to see that, and just keeps a sort of a snapshot overview of how the stock is doing. Then you have the analyst ratings, again similar like Yahoo Finance and Seeking Alpha offers. You know, you can see what's the price target, what in general the majority of analysts saying, is it buy, hold or sell. Of course, it's not as much in depth as you would find it on the Interactive Brokers website or on the old app, because there you have so much more information that you can really drill and go deep into the data. But for somebody again who doesn't want to invest too much time, I think it's a much nicer and cleaner way. The button over here is basically to watch list it and to track it. So you can unselect that or you click it, and then you're going to have it on your watch list and you're going to be notified of any price swings, etc. if you so wish. So in order to buy, very simple, you just click obviously the buy. And even on the buying menu, you see how much simpler it is than on the other app. So then if you want to buy, you can basically select between the limit order, stop order or market order. I usually select market order because I want to execute the order right now, but you could choose any of the other two as well. Then when it comes to how many shares you want to buy, it's also so much easier than it used to be. So here you can select either the exact number of shares. I could select 2 shares and it would show me the estimated price for it, or I could select the dollar amount. And again, that goes back to Interactive Brokers allowing you to buy fractional shares, and that's why I love the app as well. So I could say, listen, I just want to buy stocks worth $50. You know, that's what I have right now, and that would be around 0.31 share. And yeah, you could do that as well if you wanted, and that's amazing. Time and force, I usually buy on market, so that's why I want to execute it right now, and we leave it as it is. Then you can click on preview and it will basically pull up how much it would cost you, what you would get, kind of summary of the order before you actually execute it. If I'm happy with this, I can obviously submit the order and buy those shares. So I always recommend to buy when the market is actually open and operating. So I'm not going to buy this now, but yeah, you can see here the commission. So when you read about GlobalTrader, actually it came up as a new tool for all the people in the US. So in the US, they call it actually commission-free trading on US stocks and US based ETFs. And that's great for people in the US, but sadly for us in Europe or the rest of the world, at this stage is not applicable. There is still the usual pricing model that comes with Ibkr. So yeah, you know what is your cost, but obviously, hopefully soon that commission-free trading will come as well. But as I said in my previous videos, even though other brokers say they're commission-free, their margins and the spread, the difference between the bid and the ask price, it's so much bigger. So you're actually gonna get a worse price when you buy it. So while maybe commission free, in the end, you're actually worse off. So I'm willing to pay a little commission to them and in return get the best possible price for my purchases. Right, so I'm gonna cancel out of this. So you get the drift. The same procedure is very simple. In case you want to sell, you're just gonna hit sell over here. You can sell all or select the sell order, select how many shares you want to sell or dollar amount, and the same principle applies. So really straightforward and super simple to do. Something new that I haven't actually seen before in the other app is called swap. So technically I could now, instead of just selling and then rebuying something else, sell my Apple stocks and at the same time I could buy something new. Let's say I want to trade it into Nvidia. So I click Nvidia over here. So I could sell all my Apple stocks and in return buy the same amount worth of Nvidia. I don't really want to do that and I'm not sure if there's any tax advantage to doing it because you don't cash out, you just transfer your position. That's something interesting and depends, I guess, where you live. And that's all there is to that. Then you have, of course, Watchlist like any good app would have. I'm not really using that. I prefer Yahoo Finance for my watch list, but nonetheless, it's good to have it here and you can add or customize if you click on this item over here, sort of, delete anything, reorder. So that's really easy and nice to use as well. And then lastly, explore. So here, once again, you can look for certain stocks that you want. And I quite like that you also have the industries. So I could go, for example, into various industries. Let's go into financials and it will pull up the top movers in the financial industry for the day, the top ESGs and the IPOs, initial public offering. So I can see easily what's happening over there, plus the news relating to the industry there. And then we go back home. So really such a nice improvement to the other app. In fact, as you can see, I still have both apps because sometimes I really want to have a deep dive on the go. So I don't have my laptop with me to go onto the Interactive Brokers web portal. I'll show you how much more insights you get here. Analyst reports, ESG ratings, return on investment, insider information. I mean, it's so much more detailed, social sentiment, all these things you don't have in the new app. But again, it's still amazing to have both of the options. So on a day-to-day basis, I will definitely use the GlobalTrader app. It's so much easier and simple to use. And if I do want to get more information, I will either go online on the web portal or use the old and more complex app that offers more insights into a particular stock. I think it's an amazing addition and great to see Interactive Brokers developing and going with the times. So if you already have an account, definitely check it out. Go download it and try it right now. If you haven't got an account, check out the link in the description below and stand a chance to win up to $1,000 worth of stock. And if you want to learn more how to use the web portal of Interactive Brokers, then check out the video over here. And if you have any more questions about the app, drop them in the comments below. I answer every single comment. As always, guys, I thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.